Okay, thank you very much, John, and thanks for the organizers for having invited me today. What I'm addressing today is on the international perspective at the European Research Council, but concerning mainly the involvement of what we call at the European Commission the third countries. That means countries outside Europe. Well, as you know, when the European Research Council was created in 2007, we started in 2005 to discuss about what could be a European Research Council. And one of the first aim was to fill the need to stimulate basic research. And then, it was the first pan-European funding agency for frontier research, and funding directed to individual teams and projects selected only on the criteria of excellence. So the Scientific Council that was appointed in 2005, we started to work to have the ERC created in 2007, starting with FP7. And one important objective was also to attract the brightest scholars from outside Europe, because Europe was not seen as very attractive especially for the young scholars coming from the BRICS country, Brazil, Russia, India, China, etc. And we wanted also with ERC to attract them to Europe, because most of them up to now are going to do their postdoc in the United States and not in Europe. This was an aim of the when we created the ERC in 2007. So as you know, there are five grant schemes. The starting, the consolidators, advanced grant, synergy grant, and proof of concept. And after 5 years of existence, one can be said that the European Research Council has been a success story, highly recognized by the research community, highly competitive, having an effect of benchmarking in Europe. But it was not a success story for everything, and especially for the program I'm discussing today. We realized that the attractivity for researchers outside Europe was very low, and we did not succeed in that. And at the end of 2010, if you look at on the left, this is the member states. In the middle, the associated countries like Switzerland, Norway, Israel, etc. And on the right, except for United States, were many scholars, but they were mainly European. They were living in United States and they came back to Europe. So from that perspective, it has not been too bad. But for the others, if you look, especially in red, that China, I remember the first call of proposal was 9,167 applications. 2 from Brazil, 3 from China, and 3 from India, out of almost 10,000. And they did not apply. So at the end of 2010, given this situation, we created a working group called, at the beginning, Working Group on Third Countries, and I'm still chairing this working group, and with 7 other scientific council members. And we then decided to implement some attractive features for researchers coming from outside Europe. Well, first of all, we decided to give them more money, 500,000 euros more for a young scholar grantee if he applied from China, from India, from Brazil, even from United States, which was not a big problem, but for all the countries, all the residents in other countries than Europe and the European Union and the associated country. Then we decided that the grantee could keep his affiliation with home institution, and that the team members of the grants could be anywhere outside Europe without any problem, and they did not have to come and to work in a European lab. And after this, because after these measures, well, the number of applications, especially for the starting grant, which was our main aim, increased a little bit from, as you can see, from 2007 to 2011. And the increase between 2010 and 2011 was quite important, and it is still increasing a little bit. And after the end of 2012, well, if you look, well, we have a larger number of starting and advanced grantees coming from non-European research areas countries. So you can look at the nationalities. Well, the first in yellow, that's starting grants. In blue, the advanced grants. So while United States first, then Canada, Russia, Australia, India, Japan, Argentina, China, Ukraine, and all the others. This was a little bit more satisfactory than it was before 2010, but at least not very satisfactory, as you can see. On the left, you have the European Union, well, 84% of applications. For associated countries, 13%. And for non-European research area countries, only 3%, and this was in 2012. Concerning the team members, well, the situation was much better. As you can see, well, the distribution of the team members, country by country. Well, the European Union, 69%, which is okay. Associated countries, 11%. And non-European research area countries, 17%, which was quite okay. I mean, for the team members, after having implemented the decisions we took in 2010, the number of team members increased a lot. Moving from 5% only to 17%. And where are these team members coming from? Well, mainly from China, then from the 17%, USA 16%, India 13%, then Russia, Japan, Canada, Iran, from everywhere in the world. And we were quite satisfied with these new results. And we were thinking that maybe it was a problem. Why do we have so few grantees coming from outside Europe? Maybe they apply and they did not succeed. And this was not the case. As you can see in the following slide, well, the success rate for the European Union members is 9%, for the associated countries, 13%, and for outside Europe grantees, 11%. For the starting grant, which is even more than the success rate for the European Union countries. So this was not a problem of success rate. It was only a problem of not enough applications. And for the advanced grant, as you can see, 14% for as a success rate for European Union countries, 17% for the associated countries, and 12%, which is roughly the same from the non-European research area countries. So in 2012, we decided to launch a big campaign called ERC Goes Global. So a lot of missions all around the world. So in 2012, in Canada, in South Africa, in Brazil, in Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea, in Russia, and in 2013, the global campaign continues, and we have been to Argentina, Mexico, India, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia. We'll go back again to China in a couple of weeks, and again in the United States of America. And this global campaign, well, the director of this global campaign is our Secretary General, Professor Donald Dingwell. After this campaign, we have some now preliminary observation on the campaign. Well, the first observation was that the ERC, when we go abroad, is not known amongst the community of researchers after 5 years of existence. And we were quite surprised with that, but it is a fact. Well, when we go to China or to India, what is ERC? And while it is mistaken for the rest of FP7, they say, oh yes, we know FP7, and well, we have this cooperation, ERC is inside the cooperation program. They say, no, ERC is another distinct program called ideas, and it's not, so they did not understand what was ERC. And well, and they ask a lot of questions about, well, besides the confusion with vis-a-vis the FP7, well, they don't believe very much in the liberal approach of the European Research Council, and they say, well, this is European. The DG research as European is very bureaucratic. We don't want to apply. It's better to apply for sending our brightest postdoc to United States. It's easier, even if they get much less money when they go to United States, if they have an ERC grant. And then, well, after explaining them, they were quite, they are excited about the ERC approach, and there was a reflection on the local national funding climate and the challenges to local authorities. Well, the European model, of course, is frequently questioned, and now, especially in 2013, when we have been to these countries, especially in Asia, they say, but why we should apply to an ERC grant in Europe? No? We all know, especially in Asia, that Europe now has a lot of difficulty. They don't have any longer money. Greece, Cyprus, Portugal, Spain, and this is not good for us. Well, I mean, the heads of the Research Council to ask our scholars, especially the young scholars, to go to Europe. Europe is not over, but it's not as attractive as it was before, and we have a lot. You have a lot, so we have to explain them that Europe is not well. Greece is not the whole Europe, and there are several other countries in Europe, etc. And it happened that they are very much interested, by the way, in having bilateral affiliations. And well, we want to sign a cooperation agreement between our Research Council and the European Research Council, and that we cannot do it. This could be done at the level of the DG research, but not the ERC cannot sign cooperation agreements with the National Science Foundation in China or in India, or we had only one up to now with the National Science Foundation in the United States, and this could be a model, and they are very much interested in other countries, especially in South America, in Brazil and in Argentina, of having the same kind of agreement that we have between the ERC and the National Science Foundation of the United States. And a positive element that when we explain to them that we have in Europe national contact points in every country and national contact points for the ERC program, and they are very keen to establish in their own countries, especially in South Africa. They had a national contact point dealing only with ERC problems. And well, this is a list of the national contact point that we have been establishing outside Europe, in Australia, in Algeria, in New Zealand, in Russia, in Argentina, in Brazil, in Canada, in Chile, in South Africa, South Korea, and Taiwan. So now we have built a network of national contact points, and when there is a meeting in Brussels on the national contact points of all the European countries concerning ERC, these people are invited to attend the meeting and to see what are they do, what the national contact point in European countries are doing to promote the ERC grants. The follow-up, well, we are still working on a cohesive plan to complete the national contact points network beyond the European research area, no problem. We are considering a contingency for follow-up on approaches by National Research Council of non-ERA countries, and we are going to distribute to everybody the agreement signed between the National Science Foundation of the United States and the ERC. It could be a model for promoting the international strategy of the ERC. And then we realized that when we are going outside Europe, we are bringing with us grantees, and these are the best ambassadors for ERC, especially the young scholars having a starting grant, because they are from this country. Well, when we went to China, we have been bringing with us a Chinese grantee. There is very few. There are only 3 Chinese grantees up to now, but coming and speaking to the scientific community in China. Well, in Chinese, it is more important. It convinces them that it will be interesting for them to apply for ERC. And another thing we started to do is to, of course, to increase the number of international panel members, because there are too few. And we members of the Scientific Council are appointing the panel members, and there are too few panel members from outside Europe. And that's not an easy task. Because we have been contacted a lot of very well-known scholars from outside Europe, in China, in India, in Japan, and most of the time they refuse to be a panel member. That's the problem. And I know that especially in humanities and social sciences, there is a big problem of language, because these people. You don't know, you in Ireland, of course, you're speaking English, but the best known scholars in China or in Japan in humanities and social sciences, they are very good. Everybody knows they have H factors, but they don't speak English, and then they cannot be member of panels because all the discussions are in English. So this is not an easy task, but we are pursuing to. We will increase the number of the international panel members. So, I did not speak very much, I'm sorry, on humanities and social sciences, but the situation of humanities and social sciences, is roughly the same as the other domains of the ERC, the PE domain, physical science and engineering, and the LS domain, life sciences. Concerning the problem of internationalization, you know that humanities and social sciences have 17% of the budget of ERC. So this year, the budget of ERC is 1,800,000,000 euros. So 17% of this budget will go to humanities and social sciences. Up to now, there are more grantees in humanities than in social sciences. We have 6 panels, SH1, SH2, 3 for social sciences and 3 for humanities. And up to now, there have been 7,000 applications. Well, out of the 7,000 applications, 700 have been granted, and a little bit more in humanities than in social sciences. And scholars coming from outside Europe, there are 28 up to now. And it is roughly the same, so you can make the calculation. It is around 3%. And that was the last statistic at the end of 2012. And this is the situation of humanities and social sciences. A little bit less grantees coming from outside Europe than the other domain, but very, very, it's roughly the same. So we will continue our efforts to attract the brightest scholars from this what is called the third countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.